Welcome back, guys, to Southern Drizzle. I know it's been a long time, but guess what? Look at what I'm coming back with, right? And that is no filter. That is my old-fashioned caramel cake. So screenshot these recipe cards, and I have another one for the frosting. And a few things to note. As you guys know, make sure your ingredients are at room temperature. Number 2, this is a smaller cake, smaller layers, but it can be doubled, so keep that in mind. And as always, the cardinal rule number 1 is around here. We do not overbake, okay? Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with this baker's joy, all right? Because that's my best friend. We do not want cake sticking to that pan, so spray it liberally, make sure it's even, and set it to the side. Then we're going to start with our dry ingredients. 2 cups of cake flour, 1 big old tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Simple. And we're just going to whisk that thing together. Next, we're going to start on our wet ingredients. We're going to do 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted butter, 1.5 cups of white granulated sugar, and you guys know me, we're gonna cream that bad boy like it's no tomorrow. So yeah, just, get your arm prepared, turn on some music, dance around, jam it out, whatever you got to do, because we really want to cream this thing well, okay? Okay. As you guys may already know, what I'm really trying to do is get those 2 ingredients as light and as white as I can so that I can have a good fluffy cake. So the longer that you cream, the fluffier, the higher the cake will rise. Now I'm going to get 3 large eggs and I'm going to separate them. So what you'll see here is I'm getting a bigger mixing cup and I'm going to separate the yolk from the white. What I don't like to do is go back and forth in the shell of the egg because there are a lot of jagged edges, and what I don't want to do is puncture that yolk and have a runny mess. Allowing that egg white to just flow through my fingers gives me more control. It may be a little bit messy, but I know what's going on, okay? So clean that mess up, girl. Now we're putting all that color back into this mixture, and we are going to blend it up well, all right? Okay, now it's time for my flavors. I added a 1/2 teaspoon of butter flavoring and a whole tablespoon of vanilla. That butter flavoring, I'll have the link down in the bio so you can know exactly which one I got to add in there, because you want it in there. You want it in there. And we're going to mix those together. Now we're going to alternate between our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients. Always when you alternate and you add in those dry ingredients, you're now incorporating gluten into your mixture. So now you're a little light-handed when it comes to mixing. Put that thing on the very first setting that you have and try not to overmix here. As soon as those items are incorporated just lightly, then move on to your next step. Make sure that you start with your dry and you end with your dry, okay? So I think we got one more little bit of, that flour mixture there. So after we add this in here, you're going to see that I'm just lightly going over it here with the mixture. And then I'm going to get my big spatula and then fold it in the rest of the way. To be honest, I think I mixed it just a little bit too much. Actually, I know I did, and I'm going to show you guys what happens when you do. Okay, so let's call the egg whites back to the front of the classroom here. Bring them up to the front because what we're going to do now is whisk them. I'm going to take my mixer, add the whisk attachment, and I'm going to go to town in this measuring cup. See, listen, I know not everybody has a whisk attachment, and that's fine. Use your spindles. Perfectly fine. Does the exact same thing. But what you're looking for here are soft peaks. And what I like to call is that top at the flop. You know, the top of the flop where you have the Wendy's cup and the Frosty, or the Dairy Queen ice cream that have the little flop at the top. Those are soft peaks. And once you see like that little trail right here where the mixer has been, that's when you can tell it's kind of time to start slowing down and testing that soft peak. And as soon as you see that, you know you're good to go. And so now, once those peaks form, you want to take those egg whites and fold them into your batter. So when everything is folded in, grab those cake pans and divide your batter into 3. So we want to have 3 even layers, as even as possible. Now, you see me rubbing the cake pans and throwing them on the counter. It's because I'm trying to get rid of the air bubbles, which happen when you over mix. And if you see carefully, there are a few bubbles here. Oven 325 for 18 to 20 minutes. Actually, you want to check at 15 with these small layers, okay? And so once you take them out, you're going to get this, all right? They're a little lighter than you would think. That golden's going to be a light golden because they're small layers in the egg whites, okay? So just keep your eyes open and make sure when you insert that toothpick, everything comes out clean. I do not like when cakes cool in the pan. They are continuing cooking, so I take them out immediately. You can see they're a little hot because I'm touching the side here. But look at what we have. Great, beautiful, lovely layers of cake. Now, let's move on to the caramel, which is the star of the show, okay? So we have 1 stick of butter or 1/2 cup of butter. I did use salted butter here in this, and we're gonna put that thing on low. When I say low, I mean low. How low can you go? Low. Do not put that thing on medium. Do not put that thing on high. When your butter hits the pan, it does not need to sound like it's frying chicken, okay? Let's do this thing low and slow. This is a race against time, so we want to make sure that we have as much time with this butter before it starts separating as possible. Okay, now, so we're adding our sugar. I like to add it just a little bit at the time because that's just how I was taught to do it. So that's how I'm going to teach you how to do it. And also, I need to make this notion here. Do not start this caramel if you do not have all your ingredients right at your disposal. Listen to me now. You see that wooden spoon moving? You keep that spoon moving because what we're looking for right here is for a ball of sugar. That butter is going to mix in with that sugar and you're going to be able to just push that ball around because caramel is nothing but browned sugar, cooked sugar, okay? We do not want to burn the sugar because burning it has a very ugly, nasty taste in the back of your throat. We don't want that. We do not want that, okay? So here I'm adding a 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Now for those of my old schools, my OGs, they normally don't put brown sugar in caramel frosting. I added this in simply because I was trying to test to see how I can get rid of the gritty texture when the caramel seems to harden. And this addition is perfect. So throw that 1/3 cup of light brown sugar, pack it in and throw it in here. And as you can see, we're looking at that ball of sugar we're just pushing around. And you want to push it around until the sides start to bloom. If you look up, you'll see it's starting to swell. As soon as it swells, throw that evaporated milk in there. And you want to do this lightly. You only want enough milk in there to even out all of the bumps of sugar, the clumps of sugar that you have. Once the clumps of sugar are cleared, as you can see here, stop adding that cup. You may get a little less, you may need a little more, but you need to use your eyes and feel around until you stop having those clumps of sugar. And when that happens, do not add any more milk. Just let it do its thing. So here we're going to allow the mixture to reboil or come back to a boil. And we're just going to stir. This process takes maybe about 2 full minutes of stirring while it's boiling. If you monitor the side of the pot, you'll see some of the mixture sticking to the side, but it's rolling back off. When it's starting to thicken, the side will become more saturated with that mixture and it will slowly start to roll off. That means your sauce is thickening, and that means it's probably time to put it aside. But the way that you know is get you a spoon, not one that's the color of the caramel, okay? Get you a spoon, and if it covers or coats the back of that spoon, then guess what? Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Now I see that ingredient down there left, and that's that 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Because vanilla has alcohol, it burns off really quickly. So do not add your vanilla until you take the caramel off the stove, away from the heat. You can either add it as soon as you take it off the heat, or I like to add mine as it cools. So maybe about 2 minutes after I take it off the heat, then I'll throw in that vanilla. And it'll also deepen that color to get that classic caramel color that we like. Okay, so this is the time where I need to be honest with y'all. This may look easy, but I guarantee you, if you do this, you probably are gonna get it wrong the first time. And that's okay, because I also have a troubleshooting video, so you will, of making caramel. So if you find yourself having such a hard time with this caramel, check that video out. Baby, I'm gonna show you exactly what you did wrong. I promise, okay? Okay. Looking at this, we probably need to test this out. Let's see. Yep, there she goes. Let's test that thing out, girl. Wait, yep, there it goes. It's sticking back pretty good. So I'm gonna turn this heat off and remove this pan from the heat. And I'm gonna give it about 5 minutes to cool. And baby, look at what we got. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at this caramel. Look at the consistency. Look how thick it is. Look how beautiful this is. It's clear. It's, and do not taste it. Because if you taste it, you're not going to have enough for the cake. Okay? You're not going to have enough for the cake. The salt from the salted butter, and then the addition of that brown sugar and the hint of molasses. What caramel. Okay, so here, you guys know how to layer a cake. What I did is, because caramel is more of a thin consistency and it's a hot frosting, it drips. It's kind of like, what they do, like a gloss cake. But because I did not want to mess, I just used 3 strips of parchment paper stuck in at the bottom so that once it drips down the side, I could just pull that away and have a clean board if in fact I'm serving it to others. Now I'm going to be honest here, guys. I looked at the pan of frosting, I looked at the layers that I had, and I said, oh, it is not going to be enough. And so you'll see here where I'm really trying to ration it out. That's why I'm doing just a thin coat, a thin layer, because I'm really trying to ration out the caramel that I have. And I had to make a whole nother batch, y'all. I had to make a second batch of this one. So that's why I said, just start off with 2 batches, child. Just start off with 2. Another thing is, if you do not wait until your cake's completely cool, you're going to have a slip and slide of cake, okay? that cake is going to slip, that cake is going to slide. Also, the cake is going to slip and slide if you have uneven layers. So get your good eyes out and then try to cut it off as even as you can. If not, you're going to have a slide. You see here? I had to keep pushing it up. Why? That bottom layer had a little slope to it. Here's the finished product. Look. This is no filter. This is straight no chaser. This is how it looked. It was so pretty. It was glossy. Oh my goodness. Just looking at it again, I think I need to go get another piece. But this is what I mean. It's a very messy cake. So just having that parchment paper and being able to pull it from the bottom, perfect way of serving it. And what I did is just ran a napkin around the board to clean it up a bit before I put it in my cake dish. This was about an hour or so after I frosted the cake. And so the ingredients haven't really had time to meld together. So it's still a little moist as far as the frosting is concerned. But I'm a fatty Kathy, so I had to try it to see what was on. I had to see what was in, you know? And as soon as I just ran my knife down that thing, oh my goodness. Look at how pretty this cake is. Look at how pretty this cake is. Oh my gosh. Oh my. It was delicious. Now don't mind the fact that I done already snuck out another piece because this was the next day. And I just really wanted to see how it's set up. So as you can see here, this frosting is completely set. It's not running. It's not dripping. It is congealed together nicely. And that cake, just so you are aware, that cake with the addition of that caramel and that new piece that I'm about to cut right now, baby, let me just let the piece speak for itself. Go ahead, girl, cut that cake. Go ahead. Yep, look, cut that cake, girl. That cake looks so good. That cake looks so good, and it's so moist, and it's so light, and it's so fluffy. I love this cake. I love the salted caramel. I love the texture. Everything about it. Everything about it. And that's it, guys. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I hope that you enjoyed the commentary. Like, comment. You guys, if you know, I respond to everybody, okay? So just shoot me a message, shoot me a comment. Let me know how it came out for you. And do not forget that troubleshooting video. It should be somewhere right up in here, okay? Okay, I will see y'all next time.